people of YouTube. I'm back again for a bit of a different video from me. I thought I'd show a bit of my collection. A few of you have been asking about doing a collection video, and I thought I'd do an Amiga one. I know a few of you like it, a bit different than what a lot of other people do. First thing in the morning for me, so I've got my builder's coffee out, ready to go through it all. So take a sip and let's go. Right, yeah. So the Amiga, this is a collection that's near and dear to my heart, mainly because this is the system I'd say defined me as a gamer growing up. Back in the day, we used to have a computer club in abbreviated commas, and it basically was just a file sharing network. Basically, it was just I think it was every Tuesday or every Wednesday, we'd go to this little hall, and it was just full of guys with Amigas, and we all had our suitcases full of games. Again, games in abbreviated commas. There wasn't like how I've got the games now. These were all on copied disc, so we used to have them on the copied disc, and we all had like a little folder as well to with library numbers, so we could find all these discs that we have, and then we'd basically say, can I have this game and you can have that game, and we booted up X copy and copied away, and while we was waiting for people to come around, seeing what people wanted, we'll just be playing on the games, so see what we just got. Yeah, it was a great time, but I mean, obviously the publishers didn't probably think that. But again, I had thousands of Amiga games because of that. I got introduced to quite a lot of franchises. I had a SNES and a Mega Drive back then as well, but I love my Amiga. I loved it totally, and getting older, that's one of the collections I wanted back. Now, I don't actually have an Amiga. It's something I do want. I'm setting up a room especially for it. I just want to have like pretty much how I used to have it all set up before. I want this a specific monitor, the Philips CU something or other, and an Amiga 1200. And when I find the perfect one, I'll buy it. But until then, I'll just keep collecting the games, because the thing is, I didn't have most of this box art or boxes or anything like that, but just the games, they are what just inspired me. So yeah, so without further ado, I'll go through everything that I've got. Probably have a bit of a rant or talk or whatever about the games, see what my memories are. So first up, a game I have absolutely no memory of. I probably had it. I had that many games we just copied away. So this is Ninja Spirit. So I got this one recently, and basically got this because I know it's a good PC Engine game. I played it on the PC Engine, and that costs quite a lot of money. This, however, costs like £5. So yeah. Sorry about that. That was a postman knocking on the door. So yeah, back again. So that was Ninja Spirit. Next up, a game I really do have a lot of nostalgia for, Backlash. Now, this game, it was terrible, and unfortunately no artwork on the back. It was terrible, but it was an isometric 3D shooter. So it's sort of like one of the first-person shooters, and I just remember the drone bass sound in it. So an actual printed colour disc, I think that's pretty cool. So yeah. This was one of my first Amiga games I got when I started collecting Amiga games again, which is only fairly recent. I think it was probably about 3 or 4 years ago when I started collecting for the Amiga. Just bits and pieces here and there, just a bit of nostalgia, but mainly was getting stuff probably last year when I decided to pick up at least one Amiga game a month. So yeah, that's that one. One I've recently picked up, Santa's Christmas Capers, one that we all played as a kid, and I think it was on the one demo disc as a free game back in the day on the old One magazine. So yeah, getting another nostalgia one. Another great nostalgia game, Postman Pat. Terrible game probably nowadays, but back in them days, when I was probably about 6 or 7 when I first started playing this game, When did it come out? God knows, probably, as I say, probably 1989 or something like that, 1990. So it just had like snakes and ladders, and you used to go around doing your deliveries with the same Postman Pat theme tune on loop constantly. But me and my sister used to play this so much, and I just love these clamshells that some of these games come in. So yeah, that's that one. Next up, Custodian, which is a bit of a strange platformer. Not a massive fan of these kind of clamshelly kind of games, but yeah, one I had to get, and I think it was like $2.50. Again, another cheap one. I've seen that this has actually got a port recently on the Atari Jaguar, which is quite cool. So yeah, there's that one. And another game. They do get better, trust me, but some of these games are just like pure nostalgia for me. Robbery, so basically you're just like a little bear going around, single screen sort of like platformer. So it's definitely like a sort of a Spectrum-y style game, but on the Amiga, and terrible. But again, I just love all these kind of games. So, next up, the Turtles on the Amiga. Of course, it's on the Amiga. So this, I played a lot of this as a kid. I never played the NES. Oh no, I did actually play the NES one, but I was always coming back to this one. So what's cool about this one is, what you miss out on games this day and age is you get these little stickers, transferable tattoos, like loads of stickers, and the manual, and a little baggie to put the disc in, but I've obviously taken it out. So yeah, another great nostalgia game for me. Terrible game, but again, loved it. Another, I don't know if this is considered terrible, but this is again another nostalgia game for me. Terry's Big Adventure. So this is basically, everyone keeps going on about the great Gianna sisters ripping off Mario. So did this. Such a cool cool little game. But yeah, it's not, I don't think it's one of the easy ones to find, but it's one of the hardest ones to find, but I don't think it was quite easy for me to find. Right, next up, another big nostalgia game, the Bill's Tomato game. Now I actually had this as an actual big box. I actually had this big box. I did have a few games on the original, in the original packaging and stuff, and this was one of them. Syndicate was another. I think that came in like one of the A1200 box sets. That might be why I got that one, but this one I can remember getting this from one of my local markets, because you know, where I was from, you didn't actually see that many original box games. If you were to see games, they were more in like the smaller packages, like the Custodian one. But yeah, this one, if anyone can remember the Incredible Machine on the PC, it's like that. So basically it's like a physics, oh, there's the screenshots on the side. So it's like a physics based kind of like puzzler. Me and my dad played this for hours on end. I love this game. So next up, Arabian Nights. This game is probably, could say probably a hidden gem. Sort of like a Metroidvania, if I remember. It's like a platformer anyway. We used to have to get keys to get progressed to like further on the level game and stuff. Again, I played hours and hours in this, and what's good, look at the box art. It's brilliant, beautiful. Right, next up, another cool looking box art game, prehistoric. The Raider of the Lost Burger. I can remember playing this game as a kid, but I don't think I absolutely loved it, but I think it's probably about 10-15 quid, and I know this usually goes for a bit more, and this box art is just fantastic. And these get slated a lot of the tightest games, but I used to see them as a bit of a seal of quality. But then I was playing games like Robbery, so that's probably why. Right, next up, Zool. Everyone knows this game. Such a classic game. I never really liked it much as a kid. It's sort of like a poor man's Sonic, really. It was okay, but I don't know, it was a bit too fast for its own sake, really. But yeah, I mean, the packaging is cool, and I got this from a local game shop in Manchester, so had to get it really. Got to support the locals. Right, next up, what the Amiga was best for really, and that was point and click games. Not got enough of these games, but this was one I used to play a lot as a kid. So Simon the Sorcerer, yeah, such a cool game. I've played this to death many times. The box on this is absolutely knackered. The discs are all falling out. So I'm going to just put this up for posterity and it can stay there for the next 20 years. But yeah, I can remember this came out on disc, and then I can remember like an updated version coming out for the CD32 on CD, and it had the voice of Chris Barry on it from Red Dwarf, and I thought that blew my mind. Voices on like point and click games, it was just like, what can they do next in video games? So yeah, actually, I tell a lie, this was actually my first Amiga game I picked up collecting again, so a bit dusty. So the reason why I picked this up is I was at a Play Expo, and there was the Amiga there, and they had a box of like Amiga games, and there was like, they were selling them all, but there was no price, and I was like, how much are these? And it was like, just make an offer, and I couldn't handle that because I'm just so tight. I'll just say £1 each, and I said I think I paid £5 for this, all complete, great condition. Just got a bit dusty from the sands of time. I think I probably had this for about, it was probably about 7 years ago. I think it was the first time that Play Expo went into Manchester, I think it was. So yeah, got this, and he had like Super Frog and stuff like that, and Monkey Island, and I was just like, I want them games, but I know they've got a bit more value. I was like, I can't offer £2 for them, and at the time I was collecting NES games, so I wanted all my money for the NES. So yeah, that's again another great point and click game, classic. These are getting a bit of dust on these. Should have cleaned these before I started showing these off. So Sidetron on the, by Psygnosis. I can remember playing again a game I played a few times, because again Psygnosis was badge of quality back in them days, and still is, to be honest. I mean, that box art, I mean, it's incredible. It doesn't matter what the game is. I mean, it could be terrible, but the box art just sells it for me. So yeah, a bit of a sort of a multi-directional shooter. So yeah, sip of coffee for me. Next up, Golden Axe. Again, this one, I actually can't remember playing this on the Amiga, because I think I had it on the Mega Drive, so I was like, don't think I really needed to play it again. But again, I think I probably paid about just under a tenner for this one. And that box art is just incredible. In fact, I think there's something special inside it, I can't remember, might be wrong. I'm wrong, just the manual on discs. So yeah, incredible artwork on that one. And this one, Knights of the Crystallion, box art on this, again, incredible. And I can remember playing this probably about 4 or 5 times as a kid, and I just didn't understand it at all. I don't think I got anywhere in it, but it was just like, the sounds on it, just nostalgia for me, because it's just got that classic sort of like Amiga synth sound, and just weirdness all around. Next up, Flood, which is a platformer. Pretty cool one at that one. I think, is this it's by Bullfrog. So pretty cool platformer. Played this a lot as a kid. I think used to just like suck things up and like go places. I think this has got a big poster in it, I think. Yeah, so this has got a big poster inside it, which is pretty neat. So yeah, and that doubles up as the manual as well, so yeah, really. Next up, Pit Fighter and Space Invaders. Now this is one of them Domark cases. But actually, mine opens up quite well. Usually when you open it up, these up, this kind of like doubles over. But yeah, pretty cool. I would love to have the full set of these Denmark cases, just like Cine Steve is going for as well. They're pretty cool. So yeah, next up, Star Wars Arcade, I guess. And the mascot for the terrible games, Titus the Fox. But yeah, so this is a platformer with the mascot on it. I can remember playing this as a kid. I can't remember much more than that really. I guess it didn't leave that much of a lasting impression on me. So we'll leave that one there. Right, next up. Now this is one I wanted so long. Captain Fizz. I used to love this game. It's like sort of like a Gauntlet style game, but like set in space. Very basic, but I used to play this a lot as a kid, and I was looking for this. This is one of the first games I started like really looking for, and I couldn't remember the name of it for the life of me. I kept thinking it was Captain Blood, and when I researched Captain Blood, I was like, that's not the game. And I'm sure I always used to call this Captain Blood. Again, it was probably because the discs were labelled up wrong or something like that, because I never had the original discs. So yeah, this was Psygnosis before Psygnosis Synapse. So pretty cool. A little bit of history there, I think. And pretty awesome game if no one's ever actually played it. If you like your basic Amiga games, they're a lot of fun. Again, another Synapse game. Oh, hello. Ball. This is sort of like a platform run and gun sort of shooter. Love this again. Love this as a kid. But I mean, look at that artwork. It's just terrifying, isn't it? Got to have that in your collection. And another crazy artwork game, Impossible. Again, another one. I mean, I keep saying it, but I think most of these games are games I used to play a lot of as a kid. And this one was a bit like Rick Dangerous, which probably a lot more people know about. So it's very similar style gameplay as that, but you play a crazy anamorphic mole. So yeah, definitely recommend that one. One I got fairly recently, and I actually don't think I played this. Might have done. I used to love a lot of shooters on the Amiga back in the days, so there's a lot of games I'd love to have a game, but I can't remember what they were called, just because there was so many of them. But yeah, a bit of a shooter. It looks like quite a good one, and I can't wait to play that one when I eventually get an Amiga again. Again, I don't think that was too expensive either. So next up, Space Gun. Remember this on the arcades more than the Amiga. I think I played it on the Amiga once and was very disappointed in it. But I actually got this off Cine. Was this one Cine Steve? Yeah, Cine Steve. No, it wasn't. This was from Mr. Bad's. From his collection. I actually bought this off eBay. Saw that his name, I think his name on there was Mr. Bad's, and I was like, I think I've watched you on YouTube. This is before I started doing YouTube, and I got this for like next to nothing. I don't know how you let it go for so cheap, because I don't think this is an easy one to get hold of. I'm sure you'll be able to tell me, you know, a bit more about that stuff than I do. Oh dear, let's get this in here. Right then, next up, another game. Oh right, stop saying that now. So I played this a lot as a kid. Fire and Ice. This is another one I wanted when I started collecting again, and I actually got this the same time as I got Zool from the local game shop in Manchester. So I don't know if this has got the free poster. It has got a free poster. That's cool. I've actually not had a look at this yet. So it says on the front free poster, and it's just the same as the box. So pretty cool to have though. I think I got both of them for like Zool and this for 15 quid, which ain't too bad. Ain't too bad at all. Next up, game I used to play a bit. I used to have it on the SNES, and I had it on the Amiga, and the Amiga wasn't very great, but I used to still play it quite a lot, because I think I traded Final Fight in a few times and then played this, got disappointed, get the SNES one back again and traded it, and then just carried on playing this which wasn't very good. But I mean, the box art for this is just incredible. I love the old Capcom Amiga boxes. Quite a few I'd love to have, but are also quite expensive. Next up, Shadow the Beast on the Amiga. I actually got this quite cheap considering. I think I paid 35 quid posted. Another Psygnosis game, and I love these like long box Amiga games. I mean, they don't fit in any shelves very good. They don't fit that way, and they stick out when you put them that way. Can you see? No, you can't see it. But I mean, just look at that artwork. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with the t-shirt, which would have been fantastic, but I mean, just look at that box. I mean, that's worth 100 quid all day long. I think that's what it goes for without the t-shirt, and I think it goes for double with the t-shirt these days. Nearly there, nearly at the end. Another favourite of mine, growing up, Rough and Tumble. Excellent game. Can't wait to play this one again when I actually get my Amiga up and running again. So they've actually made, this was by Renegade and by the guys that did Duke Nukem. What are their names? God knows, can't remember. But yeah, so there's sort of a spiritual sequel to this on PlayStation 4 called something. I'll probably put it underneath when I remember. But yeah, definitely recommend getting this one if you like running gun games. Iridium 2, I picked up this quite cheap from the gaming market. I think I paid a tenner for it, which is bargain for this. Great condition. Not a massive fan of it, to be fair. It's a shooter that you go backwards and forwards, and yeah, I don't really like them kind of games. So I think this is another Houston game by published by Renegade. Yeah, next up, another game. Oh, I used to love all these wrestling games as a kid. I used to just love like all the characters back in them days for wrestling. You just don't have that anymore. Everyone just looks the same, just like muscly men. Just horrible. Why would I want to watch that when you could watch people like Sergeant Slaughter and British Bulldog? Classic games, yeah, love them. Right, next up, Heimdall 2. I want to get the first one on this one as well. That's missing in my collection. By Core Designs. This is sort of like a isometric RPG, and I just can't remember if it was this one or the first one. And you had the girl with the pigtails sat on there, it hooked up with her pigtails all strung up and everything, and you used to have to throw axes and cut her pigtails off. Classic game. Next up, I mean, look at that name, Super Methane Brothers. Game about farts, but pretty cool puzzle platformer. Again, loved it as a kid, so that's why it's here in this collection. And last up, Dojo Dan. Yeah, another classic Amiga platformer. Loved this game as a kid, and yeah, again, back in the collection. Still so many more Amiga games to get. No space for them, obviously big boxes, but when I'm going to get a second room set up, hopefully, so we can put like some classic computers. Hopefully I'm going to start doing that either end of this year, maybe next year, and yeah, start growing my collection again, I guess. I'm considering trying to find like a lot of blank disc games or copies, just so I can just play the games, because these are the kind of games I like. They're sort of like simple, easy to beat, well, easy-ish to beat, kind of just fun games that just don't need like hours and hours of story. But yeah, so tell me what you think of the collection, and is there any things that you remember from your days of playing the Amiga, or did you have an Amiga? Is it something that you wanted, missed out on? Did you do a computer club the same as me? Yeah, I'd like to hear what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye.